My name is Jeffrey Gabriel. I'm the founder and CEO of Saw.com. Here's a brief demo of the new Saw.com market. When designing the new market, we realized that every increase starts with the landing page. Whether the buyer has searched the domain himself or has been notified of its availability, we knew we needed to make an experience that made the buyer feel safe, feel comfortable, which in turn would increase conversions. And it starts with every domain pointed at our platform gets their own SSLs. In case you don't know, SSLs increase conversion rates. They stop the domain from being blocked by browsers or ISPs, keep your domain indexed in search rankings, plus much more. We also knew it was really important to make our landers resolve blazingly fast, which we've done. But last but certainly not least, as you can see here, our landers exude credibility, and we showed ours. So here you can see that we've been featured on Forbes, Mashable, TechCrunch, Yahoo, even on Yale, and then obviously many different industry publications. And we're also backed up by our Trustpilot rating that has a very strong number of reviews. In this particular case, the lander that we're using is a make offer lander, but we do have many different sales strategies from buy it now, make offer, payments over time, aka LTO capabilities. Right. So if I were going to be inquiring on this lead or as a buyer, you're getting their standard information. We also offer the message box. Now, the message box can have someone just asking for a price, or they could be writing something totally different. Some people ask me why we have that box, and I think that's one of the best possible ways of qualifying a buyer based on what they're writing to. If someone's putting in a mash of letters and numbers, but they look like they're legitimate, why waste your time? They're probably not very serious. Also, we do a 2-click make offer lander, which eliminates a lot of the bot traffic and a lot of the fake inquiries. So when the buyer makes their submission, they are entered into a chat between the buyer and the seller. So it's going to put in the offer they made initially, the message they wrote, and now we have a little bit of a bot messaging the buyer, trying to get some more information out of them to help you qualify who this person is. We're going to ask them, please share with me your budget. So I'm going to say $1,000 because I've already written that. All right. So from there, the little bot is typing again, is going to continue to ask questions. Are you trying to purchase a domain with us or anywhere else or somewhere else before? So here you go. We can say no here. And as we wait for this, this person is waiting, okay, do you have a target date so we can get a better understanding as to when they would want it? How about today, right? And so it continues to ask many different questions about the process to try to get any more information and then any other thoughts. Some people might write, I'm looking to buy something else. You know what? I've decided to increase my offer to $5,000. From the seller perspective, each of the new inquiries are put into their inbox if they're doing self-brokerage, or if they're working with our brokerage, they would end up in here. But this is kind of like all of your unread email, and this is what a seller or a client of ours is going to see when a buyer inquires. So right off here is the buyer's name, the domain name they inquired about, how many inquiries this domain has received, the offer the buyer has made, quick little basic things so they can see what the email address is, the location of the buyer, the offer that the buyer has made to you. And then you can also make some very quick decisions. You can accept the offer, you can counter the offer, you can dismiss the lead, or you can just send them a message. This is great because you could have someone like this in here that is not qualified at all. If you look at their name here, and they're writing that in there, they're probably not a buyer for the domain name, and you can just quickly choose one of the options as to what could be wrong with the domain name. And it could be that this is spam, confused, or threatening me. Their budget's really bad. Maybe you don't own the domain anymore, so to remove it from your account, quick and simple and easy. Or you could assign our brokerage quickly to the lead if you wanted one of our professionals to pick up the phone and give them a call. But in this particular case, let's get into this lead. So the buyer made the inquiry. The system has asked some additional questions. They provided those answers to you. You take a look here. You see this person's name. You can look them up on LinkedIn. You can search their name on Google. There's their email address. There's their phone number. This is their location of where they are. This is actually supposedly average income of the area that the person is sitting in. And then we actually tell you what type of a VPN or what type of a ISP or internet provider that they have inquired from. In this particular case, it's from a residential location. But we also provide from a coffee shop, an airport, a federal building, a commercial building. All of these things, again, help you to figure out who this buyer is and get a better understanding of what their goals are and what they're trying to accomplish. Now, you as a seller can write back to this person anything you'd like. Yeah, no thanks on the 5K. I'm going to counteroffer this and I'm going to do 75,000 or 7,500. Now, when you do this, what we wanted to do was provide you with a very condensed version of information about the domain name. So I'm not sure if you've ever done this before, but you didn't know what the sales setting was. You didn't know if it was set to buy it now or buy it now, make offer, and what that number was that the buyer saw. Well, you can take there. Did you offer them a payment plan? No. What's the average daily traffic on this domain name? What are the top visiting countries on this domain? What's the highest offer you've ever received? What's the lowest counter you've ever made? And here's some of the price history on this domain. Now, before you make this decision of sending this person a counter offer, you can click on more data. And when you click on that, you can go right into the stats on the domain name. Now, in this particular case, we call this a bronze keyword. This keyword, the number 79, is registered in 112 different extensions. The statistics on this domain show the price history here and the daily traffic on the domain name and also the top 10 countries that the traffic is coming from. Now, .ws is kind of a unique extension, so let's try a different domain name that probably has some more traffic and some better statistics that we can look at, right? So if we look here with darkweb.net, for example, our appraisal tool appraises.net, so it doesn't appraise .ws, unfortunately. And you can see that it's appraised at 13,000. It's a silver keyword that is registered in 163 extensions. It was registered in 2002, and it expires at the end of, or in August of 2025. Here again, we have quite a balance of traffic. And here are the top 10 people or top 10 countries that the traffic is coming from. And here is the price history of this domain name. So again, going back here, and looking at the different leads, because I responded to that lead of this before, it went into what's called awaiting response. And that's where the system is automatically going to follow up with the buyer on your behalf. Now, if you wanted to, you haven't heard from this person in a long time, you can send that person a message, okay? You can send that person a price. You realize you never really did that. You just said no thanks. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send them just a quick counteroffer. And now that you made the counteroffer, that is logged right there. And then the buyer can see what the new price is when they enter the chat, and they can click on that and they can purchase it immediately. There's a saying that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond. Having the right data before you respond, well, let's just say the outcomes will be much better.